Hi, you know what time it is? Woo! Get into it! Get into it! Yes! Hi, y'all. How's it going? Hi, welcome to Storytime with Chris. And get a look at this length of hair, y'all. Hair is getting long. Yes, ponytail is on point. Maybe, it will probably take another year, but I want my hair to be long enough so I can do the Usagi buns, the Sailor Moon buns. I want to tie my hair up and then have the two ponytails hanging out. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But enough of my blather. How is everyone? I'm feeling very recharged. I just got back from the gym. I have refreshed myself and showered, and now I'm here with you all. So, hope everybody's having a good night. And no, I don't own the music that you're listening to in the background, which is a lovely jazz mix of Chrono Trigger, which I've played this in another video, and honestly, I'm into it. I love jazz. If anybody wants to know one fun fact about me, I love jazz music. Where's my eyeglass cleaner? Oh no. Did I lose it? What did I do with it? Oh, phooey. Alright, well, can't be helped. I'll look for it later, it's fine. Oh, hi. Thank you for watching. Alright. Get my glasses cleaned up and then we'll get started. Like I said, you do not have to watch these videos when they go live. You're more than welcome to watch them in your leisurely time. And most of the episodes are uploaded to the YouTube channel. I know that we're missing a couple of episodes of Anne of Green Gables. So I will do my best to upload those later tonight. My birthday is in 3 days. It's in 3 days. I feel so much like Ursula. Before the sun sets on the third day. Ah, ah. Oh well, I tried. And I also have my water and my tea. Gotta have the tea. Tea is life. I'm not a coffee drinker. I tried it. It's not for me. I've had espresso before. It makes me incredibly anxious because it causes so much of a jolt to my system. Because I already have enough natural energy. That's so much better. Okay. So, it is springtime again in Avalia. And Anne is waiting to take her exam to see if she could get this Avery scholarship so she can get a full ride to college, which is a must. So, we'll go ahead and begin. It's not a long chapter, so try to breeze this through. Actually, we're on chapter 36, so we have 2 chapters left, and I am off for my birthday, so I think we should just finish it. So we can reveal our next book. Like I said, if you all ever want me to go back to this, please let me know. Message me. I do have friends that love Anne of Green Gables. Love the character. Ooh, you know what? I need to do a whole series on redheaded characters. So we've got Anne of Green Gables. I have Pippi Longstockings in my collection. We should also read Daddy Longlegs, which is a really very beautiful story. It's kind of in the same realm of Anne of Green Gables. It's very heartwarming, but we definitely should read that. Hi, Matt. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Oh, Matt. Okay, so this is more so a message to my friends from Ellie's and whatnot. So, Matt, if you're watching, we're all meeting up at Texas Roadhouse at 7:30 on Sunday. I would love if you and Doreen could join us. If Doreen is not available, I would love for you to come because the 2nd is my birthday. So if you want to join us for dinner, that would be really great. I just need to get an accurate head count of who all is going to be there. busy week. I'm going to have a busy week. In a fun way, y'all. In a fun way. Because there are a lot of people who genuinely wish to hang out with me to celebrate a new chapter in my life. I'll be 31 years old. Yeah, I'll be 31 years old. See these crow's feet? I love it. I love every minute of it. All right, let's begin. Chapter 36. The Glory and the Dream. On the morning when the final results of all the examinations were to be posted on the bulletin board at Queen's, Anne and Jane walked down the street together. Jane was smiling and happy. Examinations were over, and she was comfortably sure she had made a pass at least. Further considerations troubled Jane not at all. She had no soaring ambitions, and consequently was not affected with the unrest attendant thereon. For we pay a price for everything we get or take in this world, and although ambitions are well worth having, they are not to be cheaply won, but exact their dues of work and self-denial, anxiety and discouragement. I like that word, actually, discouragement. To be discouraged is to be made to feel you feel less than, you feel let down, you don't feel confident in your decisions, you're not sure of what the future may hold. Discouraged. But as my mother would always say, Christopher, the defeatist attitude does not suit you. I will repeat myself again. The defeatist attitude does not suit you. So it basically is a phrase that's saying, like, having a defeated attitude about life or about a situation doesn't change anything. You are never defeated unless you allow yourself to be. Anne was pale and quiet. In 10 more minutes she would know who had won the medal and who the Avery. Beyond those 10 minutes there did not seem just then to be anything worth being called time. Of course you'll win one of them anyhow, said Jane, who couldn't understand how the faculty could be so unfair as to order it otherwise. I have no hope of the Avery, said Anne. Everybody says Emily Clay will win it, and I'm not going to march up to that bulletin board and look at it before everybody. I haven't the moral courage. I'm going straight to the girls' dressing room. You must read the announcements and then come and tell me, Jane. And I implore you, in the name of our old friendship, to do it as quickly as possible. If I have failed, just say so without trying to break it gently. And whatever you do, don't sympathize with me. Promise me this, Jane. I'm the same way, honestly. Just tell me how it is. You don't have to sugarcoat it with me. I've dealt with a lot of disappointment in life. Just tell me whatever it is. Jane promised solemnly, but as it happened, there was no necessity for such a promise. When they went up the entrance steps of Queen's, they found the hall full of boys who were carrying Gilbert Blythe round on their shoulders and yelling at the tops of their voices, "Hurrah for Blythe, medalist!" For a moment Anne felt one sickening pang of defeat and disappointment. So she had failed and Gilbert had won. Well, Matthew would be sorry. He had been so sure she would win. And then somebody called out, "3 cheers for Miss Shirley, winner of the Avery!" "Oh, Anne!" gasped Jane as they fled to the girls' dressing room amid hearty cheers. "Oh, Anne, I'm so proud. Is it splendid?" And then the girls were around them, and Anne was the center of a laughing, congratulating group. Her shoulders were thumped and her hands shaken vigorously. She was pushed and pulled and hugged, and among it all she managed to whisper to Jane, "Oh, won't Matthew and Marilla be pleased? I must write the news home right away." Commencement was the next important happening. The exercises were held in the big assembly hall of the academy. Addresses were given, essays read, songs sung, the public award of diplomas, prizes, and medals made. Matthew and Marilla were there with eyes and ears for only one student on the platform, a tall girl in pale green with faintly flushed cheeks and starry eyes, who read the best essay and was pointed out and whispered about as the Avery winner, the Avery Scholarship. "Reckon you're glad we kept her, Marilla?" whispered Matthew, speaking for the first time since he had entered the hall when Anne had finished her essay. "It's not the first time I've been glad," retorted Marilla. "You do like to rub things in, Matthew Cuthbert." Miss Barry, who was sitting behind them, leaned forward and poked Marilla in the back with her parasol. Aren't you proud of that Anne girl? I am, she said. Anne went home to Avalia with Matthew and Marilla that evening. She had not been home since April, and she felt that she could not wait another day. The apple blossoms were out and the world was fresh and young. Diana was at Green Gables to meet her in her own white room where Marilla had set a flowering house rose on the window sill. Anne looked about her and drew a long breath of happiness. Oh, Diana, it's so good to be back again. It's so good to see those painted firs coming out against the pink sky and that white orchard in the old Snow Queen. Isn't the breath of the mint delicious? And that tea rose, why, it's a song and a hope and a prayer all in one. And it's good to see you again, Diana. I thought you liked that Stella Maynard better than me, said Diana reproachfully. Josie Pye told me you did. Josie said you were infatuated with her. Stella Maynard is the dearest girl in the world, except one, and you are that one, Diana, she said. I love you more than ever, and I've so many things to tell you, but just now I feel as if it were joy enough to sit here and look at you. I'm tired, I think. Tired of being studious and ambitious. I mean to spend at least 2 hours tomorrow lying out in the orchard grass, thinking of absolutely nothing. You've done splendidly, Anne. I suppose you won't be teaching now that you've won the Avery. No, I'm going to Redmond in September. Doesn't it seem wonderful? I'll have a brand new stock of ambition laid in by that time, after 3 glorious golden months of vacation. Jane and Ruby are going to teach. Isn't it splendid to think we all got through even to Moody Spurgeon and Josie Pye? The Newbridge trustees have offered Jane their school already, said Diana. Guilford Blythe is going to teach, too. He has to. His father can't afford to send him to college next year, after all, so he means to earn his way through. I expect he'll get the school here if Miss Ames decides to leave. Anne felt a queer little sensation of dismayed surprise. She had not known this. She had expected that Gilbert would be going to Redmond also. What would she do without their inspiring rivalry? Would not work, even at a coeducational college with a real degree in prospect, be rather flat without her friend, the enemy. The next morning at breakfast, it suddenly struck Anne that Matthew was not looking well. Surely he was much grayer than he had been a year before. Marilla, she said hesitatingly when he had gone out, is Matthew quite well? All right. Hold on. Because it's a bit of a mood change. So hold on 1 second.
Just the right.
I got excited. It was Oreos. I'm sorry. I love Oreos. No, he isn't, said Marilla in a troubled tone. He's had some real bad spells with his heart this spring, and he won't spare himself a mite. I've been real worried about him, but he's some better this while back, and we've got a good hired man, so I'm hoping he'll kind of rest and pick up. Maybe he will now you're home. You always cheer him up. Anne leaned across the table and took Marilla's face in her hands. You're not looking as well as yourself as I like to see you, Marilla. You look tired. I'm afraid you've been working too hard. You must take a rest now that I'm home. I'm just going to take this one day off to visit all the dear old spots and hunt up my old dreams, and then it would be your turn to be lazy while I do the work. Marilla smiled affectionately at her girl. It's not the work, it's my head. I've a pain so often now behind my eyes. Dr. Spencer's been fussing with glasses, but they don't do me any good. There's a distinguished oculist coming to the island the last of June, and the doctor says I must see him. I guess I have to. I can't read or sew with any comfort now. Well, Anne, you've done real well at Queen's, I must say, to take first-class license in 1 year and win the Avery Scholarship. Well, Mrs. Lynde says pride goes before a fall, and she doesn't believe in the higher education of women at all. Let me tell you, you know what? Just pause here for a quick second. This is not just for the young girls that may watch this video. This is also for the young men, non-binary people, however you wish to identify. Don't let the opinions of other people stop you from being great. You are going to get bombarded with people who have antiquated notions of what you should do or should not do. As long as what you're doing is positive and uplifting and brings life into the world, do it. Do it because it makes you happy. Do it because it makes your loved ones proud in a genuine way. And do it because it makes you proud. Do not let your dreams be held by the contingencies of other people. In layman's terms, don't let your dreams be held on by people who don't have your back. Follow your dreams because you want to. And it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. Nothing good in life is ever easily obtained, okay? So go and pursue your dreams. Because Mrs. Rachel Lynde is a hater. Okay, I said what I said. She says it's unfit them for women's true sphere. I don't believe a word of it. Speaking of Rachel, reminds me, did you hear anything about the Abbey Bank lately, Anne? I heard that it was shaky, answered Anne. Why? That is what Rachel said. She was up here one day last week and said there was some talk about it. Matthew felt real worried. All we have saved is in that bank. Every penny. I wanted Matthew to put it in the savings bank in the first place, but old Mr. Abbey was a great friend of Father's, and he'd always banked with him. Matthew said any bank with him at the head of it was good enough for anybody. I think he has only been its nominal head for many years, said Anne. He's a very old man. His nephews are really at the head of the institution. Well, miss, when Rachel told us that, I wanted Matthew to draw our money right out, and he said he'd think of it. But Mr. Russell told him yesterday that the bank was all right. Anne had a good day in the companionship of the outdoor world. She never forgot that day. It was so bright and golden and fair, so free from shadow and so lavish of blossom. Anne went to the Dryad's Bubble and Willowmere and Violet Vale. She called at the manse and had a satisfying talk with Mrs. Allen. And finally in the evening she went with Matthew for the cows through Lover's Lane to the back pasture. The woods were all gloried through with sunset, and the warm splendor of it streamed down through the hill gapes in the west. Matthew walked slowly with bent head. Anne, tall and erect, suited her springing step to his. You've been working too hard today, Matthew, she said reproachfully. Why won't you take things easier? Well, now I can't seem to, said Matthew as he opened the yard gate to let the cows through. It's only that I'm getting old, Anne, and keep forgetting it. Well, I've always worked pretty hard, and I'd rather drop in harness. If I had been the boy you sent for, said Anne wistfully, I'd be able to help you so much now and spare you in 100 ways. I could find it in my heart to wish I had been, just for that. Well, now, I'd rather have you than a dozen boys, Anne, said Matthew, patting her hand. Just mind you that rather than a dozen boys, well, now I guess it wasn't a boy that took the Avery Scholarship, was it? It was a girl. My girl. My girl that I'm proud of. He smiled his shy smile at her as he went into the yard. Anne took the memory of it with her when she went to her room that night and sat for a long while at her open window, thinking of the past and dreaming of the future. Outside, the Snow Queen was mistily white in the moonshine. The frogs were singing in the marsh beyond Orchard Slope. Anne always remembered the silvery, peaceful beauty and fragrant calm of that night. It was the last night before sorrow touched her life, and no life is ever quite the same again when once that cold, sanctifying touch has been laid upon it. And that is where we are going to end for tonight. And children, I had to end the chapter that way because we're going to get to a harder part of the story that I've read several times. And another book I've read for Storytime, which is Charlotte's Web, also taught me this valuable lesson. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But if you see me tear up as I read the next chapter. Don't be alarmed. That's just me as a person. Because I too have felt the hand of sorrow in my life. But that doesn't mean that sorrow lasts forever. It's just a momentary, brief relapse into something else. And it's up to us to get through the sorrow to see the joy and brightness of life. Okay? So, tell somebody you love them. Not just some of the time, but all of the time. I'll see you next time, y'all. Have a good night.